Good morning, people. It's Monday morning's devotion. We've been considering that one thing, or this one thing, suggesting that in areas of our lives that maybe aren't going so well, if we could find that one thing and do it, a whole lot of other things, if we do that one thing, will not have to be done or become very much easier to do. That's been the principle we're looking at. The Apostle Paul guides us in the next one thing. He suggests this, Philippians 3 verse 12. He says, one thing forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal, to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. He's found the one thing that he needs to do in that area, and that is to forget. Now there are other things, and I'm going to take you through a list of them, and we'll get to this one a little bit later. But he says, one thing I do. Now notice that the emphasis is on that little word do. You see, it's all very well knowing a whole bunch of stuff, but if we don't do anything with what we know, it'll mean very little and it's not going to make any impact anyway. But the one thing that we need to do. Now maybe that one thing has got something to do with exercising your faith. Today I want to have a look at that, exercising your faith. You've got to activate your faith for it to make a difference. Yeah, you can know a lot of stuff about God, you can know the stories, but at some stage we have to activate, press the button on our faith. In Matthew chapter 12 verse 10, we have the story of the man with the withered arm, and I get this picture of Jesus being in the temple, and he sees this man in the distance, and he's debating with the Pharisees, and it's a tense situation. And then he sees this man across the temple with a withered arm, and he's trying to hide his withered arm, maybe inside his jacket or something, inside his clothing. And he looks out and he says to that man over there, he says, "Hey, my man, stretch out your arm." And the man was, I was hoping nobody would see my withered arm. I was trying to hide it. But Jesus, if you say I should stretch out my withered hand, then I'll do that. So he takes his hand out, exposes his greatest need, exposes his embarrassment, but he stretched out his withered hand. And I guess one thing about a withered hand, it's not easy to stretch out, but he exercised and activated his faith on the basis of what Jesus had said, and the man was healed. So if Jesus were to tell you to do one thing today, it might be to tell you to activate your faith. You may know some stuff about it. You may know the stories about it. But today's the day when you need to test that faith. Activate it. Look for opportunities to put it to work and activate that which God has said, and watch what happens. This is no guarantee of success, because faith is not based upon the fulfillment of it. Faith is something that we do even though maybe nothing ever happens with it. But it's a good thing to do anyway. It's a stretching of our faith. Now, the greatest faith, I still believe, and I will mention it again, is reserved for those who have that situation. The greatest faith is reserved for those people who pray, seek God, activate their faith, and nothing happens. And we think, my faith has failed. Your faith has not failed. Your faith has passed the test. That's what it's about. And we refer to people like the ones in Hebrews 11 who never got what their faith promised, and yet they still continued to believe that God was good. Now there are many people who are praying for healing right now. Many people who are praying for their loved ones in the corona issues. Many people who are praying for the issues of finances and the issues of protection and all of those things that the world is crying out for right now. And I have to tell you, people, don't program yourself for disappointment. Many of those beautiful believers are not going to get what they have prayed for. But it doesn't mean that they don't activate it, put some action into their faith. Because at the end of the day, God has the final say. He wants to see us activate our faith. He wants to see us trust Him. But He wants us to know too that He will have the final say. So today, go into today. Look for opportunities to activate your faith. Trust God. And you know what? If people are healed because of their faith, that's awesome. But if people are not healed because of their faith, that's also awesome. Because God has not changed. And He has our best interest at heart. So I hope today you'll try that, do that, and make it a lifestyle of activating and using your faith, because this one thing is something, if you do it, everything else could change. Have a good day, people.